Phone thingy?
Yeah, I am. What the heck? Yeah, I am connected to my headphones.
Not clear. It's like you're very, very
Oh no,
distant.
Oh fuck no. Thanks for that.
Welcome.
Be clear.
There you go.
There. Nice. All right. So before we jump into charting, I want you to see this pyramid scheme that we guys are running these days. Uh, so yeah, I made about 33 bucks on my $1,000 investment, and not too shabby, not too shabby, and it is doing as it was supposed to do. My bot is not really running efficiently, so I'm missing out like a couple of hours a day. But otherwise, this is pretty decent, and it is the interest compounding is happening, and that's the reason it's growing so fast. In 2 days time, it went from 1,000 to 1,033. Probably it's more because it's not adding this income here, but yeah, it should be close to 40 bucks now. And that thing is, again, it will keep on compounding that. So I think it's working out pretty decent so far. It is working out pretty decent. Just wanted you guys to see this, and I'm monitoring this stuff. So far, no hiccups, no issues, no alarms on the internet anywhere about any of this stuff. So I am pretty much tuned into this thing 24/7 now. And hopefully, hopefully I'm looking to get my initial investment out by the end of next month, and then if the math works out, yeah, it would be generating about 50 grand or close to 50 grand by the end of 6 months. That's the plan. Hutch, how much are you up?
$625. No,
Yeah,
$125.
125. Okay.
How much did you put in?
I started with $3,000.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Nice. All right, so we have a team here. Morning, ladies and gents. 9. Yeah, let's jump in. 9. First thing first, let me see this if it's coming back. All right, that's my wallet balance here, and it is 85, so it should come, everything should come back in here. Almost there. So my last transaction was 655. Now it's about 855.9, so it should start pushing everything in there. And by the time we are done with this charting, it is accumulating. Anyways, let's jump into charting. So this is last night, if you guys remember from charting, we were looking for a push down for the futures, and it is pushing down, obviously. We had, I mean, of course, this is not just based on the technicals, but also on the global data as well. So it had to come back down into its mean, which it did. This is a regular, I mean, this is normal how it should work. And it seems like it is working the way it's supposed to work. And right back in, hit the mean, bounce off of the mean, coming right back in below the channel. And I'm expecting it to go hit. So on the right hand side, these are the regular candles. On the left hand side, these are Heikkanashi candles. Expecting this thing to come back into this number, which is a super trend on the regular candles, 42.59. Round that up at 42.60. On the Heikkanashi, if that breaks on the Heikkanashi, we are sitting at about 42.47. Well, at this moment, not really expecting this to come back down to 42.47. However, not opposed to that happening. So right now, everything is working according to the plan. It is going according to the plan. And again, today, the same scenario. We would most likely be sideways because we have Microsoft and Facebook earnings. I am bullish on Microsoft, bearish on Facebook. Not gonna involve myself with lottos and stuff. I am involved with both of those stocks since yesterday, just like we discussed. I just want to capture the IV and I want to get out for the before the earnings itself. That's the play. That's how I'm playing that. And yesterday I was involved with Facebook, Microsoft towards the upside. Did not really get a chance to short it. There was no point shorting it, but I was involved to the upside. Today, we will reassess the situation. Again, if it comes down to that, I'm still looking for upside on Microsoft and Facebook as well, but I will exit the trade before earnings. So that's just an IV play, just like yesterday, same exact thing. Yeah, so the futures expected to push back into this 40 to 60 number and then bounce. And if that breaks, looking for a push into 42, 47. There is still enough ammo basically here to push into the mean here about 43.19. Excuse me. So the base case to the downside is this 42.60, and if that breaks, a good to have would be 42.47, and the base case to the upside would be probably here, right about here. So if I extend this line, or even if I extend this line, the base case would be here, 42.94, the close yesterday. So 42.94 should be my base case to the upside. Should that clear, then we are looking for a push into 43.27. Right now, not plotting anything beyond that. But if that clears, we can look for a push into 43.88. Again, not planning to have that today, not charting that thing today. However, a good chance of hitting 43.28 is right there, mean on the 4 hour. We'll reassess the situation after this thing is done. Allergies. 4300 should act as some sort of a serious resistance around here. Yesterday yesterday SPX was unable to clear that number. It came very close, 42.99, somewhere around that, and it pushed back from there. Today, expecting the same thing, go and test that number. If it clears there, we are looking for a push into this 43.29. So right about here, 43.27 to 43.29. That's the range we are looking to hit today. And that should be a good to have. Yeah, that should be a good to have. 43 is 43 my base case? No, I did not say that. What is my base case? Yeah, let's round that up at 43. 42.94, but let's round that up at 43. 43 is my base case to the upside. Where did that go? Yeah, 43 is my base case to the upside. And then if it cleared there, a good to have would be 43.29, between 43.27 to 43.29. If that clears, then we will be looking for a push into 43.58. But let's reassess the situation around 43.28 to the upside. And we already marked to the downside. So let's go on to SPX. Let me change the window here. And let's look at the bigger picture. SPY is actually coming down a bit here. So let's see how this works out. But otherwise, let's go on the big picture. SPY pushed up. Futures kind of pushed up here and coming back down and expecting a push into 423 here. And then look for a bounce. Why? Because it is kind of overbought here. And so stochastics are turning. So I want it to come down into the mean here. 424.98. Let's round that up at 425. Right now it's trading at 426.16. So good $1 to the downside at the open. And after that, I am looking for a push into 430.70. Okay. And so the base case should be, well, let's establish the base case to the upside. 433.25. And of course, we will keep reassessing the situation, and in case there are changes, we will plan accordingly. But for now, I think the base case should be around 433.10. So that's my base case. And a good to have after that would be right here, 438.96. That's how I want to play it right now. But not looking to plot anything beyond that as of today. Uh, Not even that. Where is the mean? This is the mean. Right, 436. Sorry, 436 would be nice to have. Base case would be 432.94. A good to have would be 436. That's how I want to play it to the upside. We will reassess the situation once we hit 432.94. Is that too much to ask? I don't know. Maybe it is too much to ask. Anyways, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, is that 43? Yeah, why are we looking at SPY now? Let's look at SPX. This is the one that we're going to be looking at, SPX. To the upside, 4306. So 4306 to 4307. That's the range I'm looking for to the upside. That's my base case to the upside. Should that clear, we're looking for 4336. This is how I want to proceed to the upside. And on the hourly, yeah, 43, same thing, 4330. This range, 4327 to 4330, just like the futures. This is my range. This would be a good to have to the upside. To the base case, again, 4300 is my base case. And to the upside, 43, this number, this super trend is my good to have. And should we clear that, then we're looking for a push into probably 4377 to 4390. Not really looking to plot that as of today, as of now, but we will reassess the situation as and when we clear 4327, the mean, or this number right here. Once we clear that, I think there's a good bit of upside, especially with the earnings coming out. I don't believe anybody would want to short the markets here. So let's look for that. 4,300 to the upside, base case. Good to have is 4327. That's the way I want to be playing SPX today. And moving along on to other stocks. Let me change the window. Other thing that I'll be looking at is VIX. VIX is obviously pushing now with the futures coming down, and this is not just due to the U.S. data. This also has something to do with global events. I think there's some statements coming out which includes the word nuclear and war together in them. So that's never a good thing. However, let's plot VIX, expecting it to hit right here at the open 28, and most likely take a breather. And then after that, I believe if it starts to push up from there, 28.13. This should stop VIX right about here. 28.13 or something like that. It should stop VIX, and at least take a breather here. 28.14, around that area. At least VIX should take a breather. Then after that, if it still continues to march higher, I think the 1 hour mean is sitting right around 28.70 or 28.80. So this is what I'm expecting from. This is the chart, of course. Yesterday it bounced off of that number beautifully here. So hit the 5, hit the 8, clearing the 8, expecting it to push into this number, 28.36. Not in a straight line. It should take a breather somewhere around here, 28.15.14. Then probably push into this number. And I'll be monitoring the situation very keenly, and I'm looking for a hit of 28.80. So a good point from here to the upside for VIX, and we will reassess the situation there. There is enough ammo for VIX to actually go into that mean, and this is how exactly it should work. And if you see the picture of futures, that is exactly the opposite of it, coming down, hitting that certain number, starting to push back up. And the futures should be doing the same exact thing on the 1 hour, going up, hitting that resistance, and coming back down into the mean. That is exactly what is happening. Now, the good thing is the mean on the technicals on the future side are pushing up, whereas the technicals on the big side are coming down. So that's one good thing. But still, let's see how this works out. There are technicals telling you that this is oversold. These are oversold conditions, and so it will go into this mean. Pretty much that's a given right here. So let's reassess the situation at 2880, 2881. And look at this MACD. It is still trying to come back down. However, you have these pale red bars here telling you that the selling pressure is slowing down for VIX. Let's keep monitoring that situation. The average on the 4 hour chart is still pointed down. So yeah, the big fight would come here. We knew that. That's what is happening right here. And after hitting 2880 or something like that, I'm still expecting it to come back down or take a breather and probably come back into this number 2611. This is my expectation basically. And here we can, well, again, I don't want to be running ahead of myself, but this is what I'm watching in my mind. But I will be taking everything over hour by hour. So everybody knows that. This is my anchor chart. This is where I'm glued. This is what I'm glued to. But I'll be operating on about 3 to 5 minute charts, 3, 5, 15-minute charts. On the daily, we still are in an uptrend for VIX. The average is still pointing up. However, the good thing is that the RSI itself is pointing down. So expecting a push down probably into push up probably into this number here, 2878, 2880, and then push back down into this number, 2680. That's how I want to see VIX proceed. But again, if the VIX starts to push up, we can't do much, but wait for it to probably push into this number, 3240 or something like that. We don't really have much of a choice there. About 32, 33. So not really plotting VIX into the 30s as of where we stand, uh, because most of the variables that go into VIX are pretty stable. And one other data point that I want to bring to your attention is 10 year. It is coming back down as you would have expected it to come back down, simply because the technicals are not in agreement with what is going on. So it is coming back down. Expecting a hit of 2.6, probably around 2.69 to 2.7. Will that happen right away? Not sure, but it has to happen. And let's see 10 year on there. So broke the 5, broke the 8, came back into this inner Bollinger Band, and if it breaks enters here, there's a very good chance it will hit the mean right about at 2.66. Not saying that it will happen in a straight line, because you have another moving average sitting here on the weekly. So 2.69 pretty much is sitting there. This will happen and it will bounce around here, and after the bounce it should actually come back into this number, 2.6. And if this happens, industrials might take a hit, but looking for tech to keep pushing higher. But again, if tech takes off, my choice of play, or rather a better play, would be Microsoft. Facebook not so keen on that, but Microsoft definitely looking to play that again today. And of course, Apple, a bit here and there. Microsoft, and there's other one that I was looking at, probably something like a Snowflake or Crowd. or one other high beta name, probably Nvidia or something like that. But Microsoft is my top play. I'll keep playing that in and out all throughout the day today. Okay, and yeah, that's one on the data point, and another data point is this one, Bitcoin. Expecting Bitcoin to actually be stable today, and in like a couple of days back, we were charting it to come back down into this Bollinger Band and bounce off of that. That's what is happening, and expecting it to push into its mean right here. It's not. It's very slow. It's, given the nature of Bitcoin, it had to move fast, but it is not, and that is worrisome to say the least. We are past that. What is that? Tax day. We are past. All of that, and if it were to happen, this should be it. This should be it. Now is the time for this thing to shine, but I don't know what's happening. However, I will keep a very close watch on that. Technicals are telling me that it's going to go hit this mean. If it clears the mean here, we are good to hit 4100, and if that clears, we are good to hit 4125. 285, whatever that number is. So what this is symbolizing to me is, if it pushes higher, then we are in a risk on environment. That means people will be looking to invest in risky assets. So that's the gauge I'm trying to get from Bitcoin. Okay, and then next to that we have Facebook, not really doing much, but where is Apple? Yeah, this is Apple. This is the one that I'll be on, Apple and Microsoft. So whichever way Apple and Microsoft go, majority of the markets will pull in that direction. So I'm expecting Apple to come back into its mean on the 1 hour, simply because oversold conditions and whatnot. I want to see it come back here. This is a good pullback. This is a healthy pullback, and most likely 160.98. This is also good. Or at least I believe it is decent. And after that, most likely, I think there is still a good bit of upside for Apple. If not, it had to come back into this number right here, 160.50. And if the sell-off intensifies, then we are still looking to push into 159 again. This 200 moving average did act as pretty solid support yesterday, and pretty much this line did save the markets from sinking further yesterday. Uh, Apple was unable to get past this line. It did go past, that's okay, but by and large, Apple, this 200 moving average acted as solid support for Apple. In fact, I was looking to, if it breaks, I wanted to go short. It did not break that, so I went long here and rode this all the way through here. Nice little trade there. So what if the push continues to the upside, then we're looking for a push into this number 164.43. Take a breather there and come back down, and if it pushes here, this is where it should stop, 165.44. And this is where it should stop basically, but if it continues its push, not seeing it beyond 166 today, 166.28. So to the upside, 164.35, and that clears, looking for a push into 165.36. So that means the markets will be in a rally mode pretty much. It should be hitting a 43.37 or 43.27 here if Apple comes up to this number right about here, 164. And again, to the downside, this will act as stop. And if it breaks there, we are in for some decent pullback. Not really plotting anything beyond a 200 moving average for Apple. But let's see. What if it breaks below there? Then a push into 150, 150.91 something. And that will happen. And that will happen at some point in time, simply because it is oversold on the monthly and it had to resolve itself. And this is where It doesn't matter what happens to earnings after the earnings or whenever it is settled. I think it will still push back into this number 157, and then it should come back into 154, and then it should come back into 152. This has to happen. 8 below 21 is, we are still waiting on that. Did not happen last time. It came close, but it bounced off of that number. Now here again, the same scenario is about to take place. 8 below 21. If that happens, then of course we'll be keeping a close watch on that. But if it does happen on the weekly, then there is pretty much trouble for Apple. It is pretty much going down to 152, and most likely it will break it this time if 8 below 21 happens here, and then we're looking for a push into 136, pretty much, yeah. Or at least, if it breaks here, we're looking for a push into 143, right about here. So yeah, that is what we're watching. But right now, as of today, not plotting any of that stuff. As of today, this is still the downside, 159 or whatever this 200 moving average is coming down to. That's where it should stop. Anybody watching? Anybody looking at any specific stock today? Anybody has a watch list? All right then. All right. So yeah, cool. So Microsoft IB play, Facebook not really looking for play there as of now. But Microsoft bullish, Facebook bearish. Amazon is the other one that I'll be looking to initiate a position tomorrow, and that would again be an IV play. It's not an earnings play. Same exact thing with Microsoft. Apple wanting to stay away as of now. Will be looking to play Apple equity after earnings. Not even getting involved in Apple, before earnings. Not even for the IV. But will be looking to play equity after earnings, whichever way it goes. Tesla not really looking to engage in that right now. Tesla seems like it's not it's done with its the IV is coming down for Tesla, so not really looking to play anything there. But Tesla on a weekly basis, I just keep selling those so not covered calls, the puts or calls, whichever way that I feel comfortable. Right now, I'm looking to sell puts on Tesla, about 800 strike or something like that. That's what I keep doing on a weekly basis. Or you can go out 1 week out further and look for a 750 strike or something like that. That's also viable. But do it only if you have the account size for that, or else you will be tying up all your funds in that trade. So that being said, about 4 minutes to the open. Good luck.